Happy 2024. Andres is here from all across the planet. I just got back last night from Davos during the World Economic Forum, and now I'm back home in not sunny South San Francisco. And I'm joined here by Adina, Jason, and Deborah from the AirMiners team. Hey, everybody. Really glad to see so many people from the AirMiners community and also some new faces. So to kick things off, we rebuilt Town Hall. Last year we did 3 town halls, and we looked at kind of how it all worked out, and we rebuilt it to be even more valuable for you than ever. It's really about unlocking for you whatever's next in your carbon removal journey, reversing climate change. So for all of us, as I've said at other town halls, there's some next level, right? If you've just graduated from boot up, you're like, oh my gosh, like now I want to work on carbon removal. I want to reverse climate change and find a job. If you've got an idea for a company, now you want to find a co-founder, right? Or maybe you want to find investors. You've graduated from our Launchpad Accelerator, you've raised some money, and now you're like, wait, where are the customers? I need customers. So whatever is important to you, I want you to bring it and share it today. That's what makes this next hour valuable. So here's what's happening today. It's in 2 parts. The first part is events. Second part is information and databases. So in the events part, we want to get your guidance on creating events that make a difference for you. We'll be using a tool called Mentimeter. You're going to click a link and answer survey questions and enter things using your keyboard. It's all anonymous, so it's totally safe to share your biggest ideas. And Jason's going to be leading that section. And in the second part, we're talking about information and databases that would make a difference for you in what you're up to. And Adina will lead that section, and we'll be done at 12 Pacific time. So now I want to introduce you to Jason, who is going to talk about the events.
All right, Tito, thank you, and welcome everybody. This is I suppose, an event of sorts that we're having today. But the idea with our events in the future is we want to involve you more. You know, we in our AirMiners operating team, we know a lot. I mean, we feel like we know a lot about the carbon removal space, which is great. And we hear a lot of things from you all by working with you in Boot Up, working with Launchpad, seeing what the community is talking about in our Slack and what other people like about the previous events that we've done. We want to take that to the next level. We want to engage with you all in a way that gives you agency to chart the pathway of how we're going to do events in the future. What topics are we are most on our mind? Where can we lay our bets for what the future of carbon removal is going to hold? And what do you most want to hear about? What kind of panelists do you want to hear about? And to that end, we've got ideas about 5 different categories of carbon removal that we're going to solicit your help to learn more about. Direct air capture, biochar and BiCRS, oceans, mineralization, and everybody's favorite 3-letter acronym in CDR, besides CDR itself, is MRV. So with that in mind, we've got Mentimeter set up that Adina's going to be displaying to you shortly. When those pop up, the idea is that you would put in a topic that you feel is interesting to you, and you'll be able to see these ideas pop up on the screen live as people submit them. So when that screen goes live, we'll share a link with you, and click on that link to get into the Mentimeter and register your opinion about an open-ended event topic that you'd like to see. After that, after we've collected all of the open-ended responses from the Mentimeters for each of the 5 categories, we'll talk a little bit about the kind of information that we're looking for, do a little bit more, learn a little bit more about what you'd like to see. And then we're going to go back to these 5 categories again to hone down, like, how strongly do you feel about each of the top 5 or so topics from each of those 5 categories. First, again, DAC, biochar, ocean, mineralization, and MRV. And then if you vote it, we'll do it. And then we'll do this to get 5 of the next 10 or so topics for our events. So we already have some ideas about DAC events submitted already. So this is a great example of stuff that we'd like to hear about for direct air capture. So we're going to keep this open for a minute as we hear about what kind of DAC events you want to hear about. I'm seeing stuff about regulation, stuff about recent DAC funding, community-based DAC, DIY DAC hacks, oil and gas industry overlap. Okay. Hub progress and siting. Okay. And by the way, these are all, site visit, nice one. So again, this is all very, this is all anonymized. So, we don't have a good way of tracking who's responding here. So just join us at thementi.com or use the Mentimeter link to get there. And we're going to give it another minute or so. Oops, looks like someone upvoted one of the responses. So great. All right, so we've got 24 responses. Whoa, nice. Okay, let's switch to the next topic, which would be biochar, or we'll broaden this a little bit to not just be biochar, but bikers as well. So anything that's, biochar or biomass based. What do we want to learn about biochar or biker solutions specifically? Or what kind of panel event would be most interesting for you? Okay, indoor biochar, we got site visits, accounting. Latest data. Okay. High permanence. Biochar and ERW. Let's hold that for mineralization one, huh? That would be interesting. Okay, 16 responses coming in. Okay, production. All right. I think that's good for now. We've got, looks like 18 responses. Wow. Okay. And looks like there might have been some upvoting as well. 20 responses. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Let's move on to our next one, which would be oceans. The ocean is wide and vast. And has a wide and vast array of different carbon removal applications to it. So what kind of things in the ocean space would be interesting to you? Okay, we'll get to MRV later. Okay, so Shannon has a question. What if you have a general and scientific topic for CDR but doesn't fit into a specific removal pathway? So, I mean, you can, Shannon, I'd recommend you put it in here and we'll consider it, knowing that again, this is 5 of the next 10. So feel free to just provide your idea here and see how folks react. . Okay, let's keep going. Any other ocean ideas? What motivates buyers? Yes. Cost models? Yes.
Jason, there's a question about voting. I think people are.
We'll be voting on, so we'll look at the responses that come through, and then at the end, we'll public perceptions of ocean-based projects. Yes. So what we'll do is look at we'll evaluate the responses that come in, and then provide the top 5, and then they'll be voting on like how uh, strongly do you feel about each of these topics. Okay, looks like we got about 18 responses. I think we're good. Let's move on to mineralization. Yeah, and to Deborah's point, if there's an idea that you like, feel free to just list it again. Mineralization. So what do we want to learn about the field of mineralization? It could be mineralization in the form of enhanced rock weathering spread over fields. It could be mineralization of the type where where CO2 gets injected into basalt or olivine rock formations. In situ or ex situ, as it were, or ex situ versus in situ, I should say. Okay. Alkalinity sources. Okay. Microorganisms. Interesting. So again, any and all. Yeah. Okay. Okay, biogeochemical reactions, MRV and ERW remains challenging. MRV and ERW. Okay, well, wait on the MRV stuff. It's coming, folks. It's a coming. Okay, overlap with the mining industry and sampling test methods for concrete. Anything bio-related. All right. Great. Let's move on to our last category, which is MRV. Okay, Shannon, okay, I see that. MRV to climate modeling show how much CDR is needed to reach 0 degrees C by 2100. There you go. Okay. Very well. Immediate future of MRV. Red teaming MRV. How the system could be. Ah, I see. I see. I think I see what you mean. Heather Langsner says DMRV. I'm assuming you mean digital MRV, yes? So, okay. When is your MRV good enough? Is it ever good enough? MRV workshops. Okay. All right. Great. Great. So we're seeing some themes come up here for MRV and for others. What we're going to do is say, well, first of all, thank you everyone for all your responses about MRV. We're also going to go back to we're gonna go back to to Adina. So thank you for this, and we'll take it from there.
Right. Okay. The next section we're going to be brainstorming about, I'm going to show the page, but don't put anything yet. Okay. The next section we're going to be brainstorming about is going to be about information that would be most valuable for you. And this is information that helps you execute on your company's development. So this originated from us doing the DAC and storage partnerships event. And one of the things that came up was like, gosh, it would really be useful if we had a list of who are all of the potential storage partners? What is their capacity? Where are they located? What are the technical specs required for their CO2 storage? And we were thinking like, gosh, there's probably a bunch of different categories of information like that that would be useful. Like, I don't know, who are the manufacturers that we could work with? Or, you know, who are the different digital MRV systems that we could work with for biochar, or just a variety of things like that. And so we want to understand what kind of information could we possibly crowdsource that would be valuable to you, where we could publish that information. So given that, please enter your responses. We'd love to get kind of a feel for what kind of information would be helpful for you. What grant opportunities are coming? Okay, great, got it. What are the different government incentives? What engineering firms can we use for pilots? How to network with people pursuing the same pathway? Okay, got it. Yeah, totally. Filterable databases for all CDR companies. Grants for sure. Okay, got it. Got it on the grants. Clear. All right. Quantity and type of organic waste residues by location. So like feedstock sourcing. Totally. Yep. Okay. Hold on. Somebody was messing with the thing, so I can't see what was going on. Okay, hold on. All right. Let's see. Filterable database of all CDR project developers as distinct from technology developers. Absolutely. Okay, more feedstock, including alkalinity. Okay, alkalinity, biomass materials. Workshop on working with big companies. Totally. Yeah. Okay. List of chemical manufacturers or distributed companies relevant to DAC or CCU. Firms for MRV support. Okay, great. Requirements and expectations of potential buyers. Okay, got it. How to protect IP if you are working with a larger company or university. Clear. Overview of each climate sector that includes established companies and up-and-comers. Whoever said this one, if you could enter in, you can enter in multiple responses. If you can just specify what you mean by climate sectors, like do you mean like the DAC players and the biochar players, or do you mean something else? Thank you for that. Database of all types and subtypes of CDRs that users can submit to as reference material. Okay. Resource hub to access opportunities, contracts, like contract templates. Yeah, okay. list of all MRV providers. Okay, clear. Yep, I'm hearing MRV, very clear. Lobbying for cost of carbon. Whoever put this in, if you can put a little more detail in, that'd be super great. And just put that same title in and then, parentheses, the additional. Okay. Things someone tried but didn't work and why? That's a good one. Yeah, because we see a lot of companies that come through Launchpad, and we've seen several where it's like the same idea comes through and we test a couple times and it doesn't work. So yeah, that makes sense. Saves time for everybody. I think that this is in response to this one, which is like, yes, when it says climate sectors, it's like CDR, DAC, ERW. Yep. Okay. Ocean. Okay. Clear. Key regulatory hurdles to be aware of when moving from lab to offshore. Okay. And then networks and partnerships, if you can be a little more specific about what you mean there, that would be super helpful. Moving back up here, partnering with large players. So I think that this one probably links up with, there was another one of like how to work with big companies, which is up here somewhere, but I've lost it. But yep, understood that there's like this question of like, how on earth do you work with like large companies? For the lobbying, thank you for clarification. Lobbying for a cost of carbon to pay for carbon capture. Yeah, our voluntary market's enough. Gotcha. Okay. Market demands and consumer trends. Clear. Okay. Let's see, I think I missed one up here. List of entities that can help with first of a kind financing. Yeah, understood that. Training on different standards and policies that companies follow in achieving their climate goals. Different standards and policies. Whoever it is that put this one in, if you can be more specific, like I could see this going in a bunch of different directions. Like, is this like EJ standards, or is this like my measurement verification reporting standards? Like specificity on that would be super helpful. Resource or outsourcing options for standard parts of running a company. Okay, yeah, totally. Like who the heck do you go to for HR, legal, accounting? Yeah, that makes sense. Networks and partnerships. Thank you for the clarification on that. Information about potential collaborations, including NGOs, research institutes, technology companies working in the space of carbon removal. Okay, great. Awesome. CO2 pipeline outlook from DOE FECM. Okay, clear. And technology innovations. By the way, this is a great list of stuff, folks. So thank you so much for contributing this. Technology innovations, updates on AI, ML, so artificial intelligence, machine learning, for those who are not clear on those acronyms, and other technology advancements that can be applied in environmental monitoring. How to talk to non-scientists, clear. I would recommend our carbon canvas, our open carbon canvas sessions for that, because we definitely cover that there. Anything that Launchpad teams find they have to share again and again, yeah, could be a streamline for a public resource. CapEx funding partners for startups, CapEx, yes, clear, okay, good. And partnering with local municipalities and indigenous communities. Okay, awesome. This is a super great list of stuff here, folks. I can't promise that we're going to do all of it because this is a lot, and we will collate this and we will be calling on you all to participate, because it's not like we have some magical answer here, okay, folks? Like, we are going to be counting on you to be able to help crowdfund some of this stuff, so that way we can have databases and resources that really work for everybody, okay? All right. Guys and gals, are we ready? Jason and Deborah, for the polling part?
We're gonna need 1 more minute to assemble one more of the topics, and then
Okay, great.
we'll be right back.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right. In terms of starting to put together any of those resources, I know that some people are really passionate about that kind of thing. So I don't know if there's anybody that's in the room today that's like, hey, I really want to do that. I really want to take on and help like run some of that stuff. But we would, as you can see, we are a team of 4. And it would make a huge difference if we had more community around this. Angus, thank you so much. Angus Shaw. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for saying yes. Anybody else? Okay, as we will follow up with you in Slack after this meeting, and make sure that we loop you in.
All right, ready to go. Talk to
Okay,
you soon.
great.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to be launching. So we took all of the poll results that you guys just put in for the different DAC, biochar, et cetera events, and we're going to launch polls on those so we can get a level of interest as to who the heck wants what, and that will determine a bunch of the events that we're running. So Jason is going to launch that poll.
So for each of these, I put the 5 ideas that bubbled up from what you just did, and how strongly or not so strongly do you feel about each of these?
And you got to scroll to see all the questions. So
Yeah. 5 being, I feel like really we gotta do this, and 0 being meh. Can everyone see the poll? There you go. All right, we'll be capturing this. We're not going to have the be able to do the analytics on all of the responses now, since we're still in the middle of the meeting. But we will let you know what bubbled up to the top shortly after our meeting concludes. Might have misspoken earlier. Okay, going to give people a couple more seconds to consider everything here. And good. Okay. And ending the poll. Okay. Next up, we're going to do the same for biochar. And with that, I'm going to go back and launch the biochar poll. Here we go. Site visits again. Hey. You can vote once for each of these. You don't necessarily only vote for one out of the 5. Feel free to vote for any and all of these ideas that come up. Okay, going to give people a few more seconds. Okay, excellent. So we're going to end that poll. Awesome. Just going to download the results. And next up, we're going to do oceans. Going to dive into the ocean. CDR, that is. Whoops. Regulations for project citing, it should be citing. Okay. Okay. And going to end this poll. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, next up, we're going to do mineralization. Okay. You're going to give people, oops, a few more seconds to enter in their votes. Okay, great. And next, finally, MRV. Last by no means least. Manipulation means how to, I'm assuming like red shirting, how to manipulate MRV, or how might MRV be manipulated?
Yes, that's correct.
Web3 came up, workshop came up, latest science, and making a new method of MRV. Okay, one thing to note too, if you feel like your idea wasn't represented here, you feel very strongly about it, feel free to put it into the chat and we'll download it and follow up later. Okay, excellent. Thank you all for voting on this. And that concludes our polling for this, and keep eyes peeled for what the results are for the topics that we came up with. Excellent, excellent. Okay. And that is the main part of the polling aspect. Adina, anything to add for the informational for the information sources that you want to talk about?
No, not at this time. So I'm going to basically take those back and look at which ones we feasibly can do, and then we will reach out to the community to basically source information, and then we'll do our best to verify that information once we've kind of crowdsourced it. So we'll do that as much as we can. But it's really helpful to just kind of get a sense of what are you all thinking about? What is it that you really need in order to succeed? So we really, really appreciate your input, because ultimately this community is for you and for you to win. That is what we want you to do, is you want you to win at removing carbon. So that way we can hit our goal at AirMiners of removing the first billion tons of carbon by 2030 cumulatively. So, Jason, I know you have some announcements about some things that are coming up. So I'm going to let you take that away.
Yeah, sure. So a week from now, we're going to have 2 events in one day. Look out, world. One of which is a carbon open canvas event. For those of you who might not be familiar with it, these are events where you can come and pitch your new idea or learn from others how their ideas are being pitched, communicate how your communication is working. It's really intended for those who want to work on the pitch delivery itself. There are not going to be any investors there. We're creating a safe space for people to practice and learn from others by listening to entrepreneurs who are paired up with each other, talking about their idea, and then communicating that back to each other so that you can refine and hone that very important pitch presentation. So that's the nature of the Carbon Open Canvas event. Again, open for any kind of idea, open for any early stage company that might be a little bit on the early side, and you're thinking of it, and you want to see if this business model makes sense, and also make sure that your communication is being smoothly delivered and that the message is getting through. That's the nature of the Carbon Open Canvas event. We're going to have that next Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific. And I think Tito already shared the link to that in the Zoom chat. But we can certainly repost that here again. Second is directly after, on the heels of that Carbon Open Canvas event from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, we are going to be having a event with the experiment.com platform, which is hosting the Bezos Earth Fund greenhouse gas removal prize competition. This is a new prize competition that has an initial early submission deadline for February 1st. So that's why we wanted to get it in a couple of days beforehand, so that you can talk to the experiment.com representatives, who will talk about what the prize is, how it works, what they're expecting from it, and how you can learn about what that might mean for your carbon removal idea. That's the nature of that Q&A event that we're going to be having next Tuesday, the 30th, from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And if we can add that to, Tito and Deborah already added that to the Zoom chat, so thank you for that. The Zoom links that are already live, feel free to come to one or both, and we'll go from there.